Kenilworth Road. We're going to hear more post-match reactions. Here's Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, we spoke before the game about how sometimes things are more important than football, but Luis Diaz coming off the bench, scoring your equaliser, how special a moment for him, for you, his family and everybody in this difficult time?
No, it's a wonderful moment, but it doesn't change the situation yet. So the most important thing is that his father gets released, so we don't have to make that now. But it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. He wanted to be here, and he gets that. That's it. And it's for us super important goal, and for him very important, of course. And yes, very emotional, but that's it.
It's a big call for a coach to make when somebody's in that situation. But did you have a sense, you know your players better than anybody, that he might just be the man for you to look to, that something special could happen?
Yeah, he always can do that. When he's on the pitch, he's always involved in special things, especially this season as well. So yeah, of course, we knew that he will be a threat. We didn't know exactly how long he can play because he only had a few sessions with the team, but that's all fine. It's really, that's not the important part today. He scored that goal. That's wonderful, but we need still some improvement in Colombia.
Looking at the game on a wider level, you spoke to us very clearly beforehand about how difficult you thought this would be. But did it turn out to be a bigger task than you thought?
Yeah, so credit to Luton, how they defend, how they set it up, of course. But it was mainly up to us. We had a lot of chances and we should have had much more. The goalie had a few saves to make, but not too many from close range, more from a bit of a wider, bigger distance. Yeah, it's a tricky task to stay fully concentrated. And we had, I think, the first half, one of the biggest chances is Ryan with the ball, slalom through their lines, and then the ball to Diogo, and then Diogo, like in a rush, usually one touch, control the ball, next one, far corner, done. But we had of these moments where we were not clear enough, not convinced enough. We had too many to bring the game in a different direction. So like it was, I don't know even the numbers yet, but we had on possession and stuff like this. But it's now not that we defended a set piece as well, which is difficult. They didn't have a lot of finishes, but they had a decisive one. I think it was set piece for us. We lose that second ball at their box, and then it's clear and it's well played, and for us really difficult. So they won it up, and then it's obviously fine. I think if you want to look at the game, we didn't deserve more than a point tonight. So that's how just as we could have won the game, and we should have won. But now with all the chances we missed or we didn't create, that was the result we deserved, and I think then what the result that Luton deserves as well. It was a good atmosphere. Everything was there. We should have done better.
Some of those chances you spoke about fell to Darwin Núñez, particularly in the first half. He had over 50% of your shots on goal. He's been very special of late for you. Is this part of his learning journey today?
Just one of these days, that's completely normal. And it was in these interviews, you count on all finishes, but it was offside once or twice, I think, or at least I saw a flag coming up, so it wouldn't have been a goal, so it's then not important. The one ball Mo squares with the header, I think Mo can already doing it himself. That's as well a big chance. So yeah, these are the moments. The first with the one to the crossbar is actually really well executed, just unlucky. And then we had other moments. But that's when he had more than 50%, it speaks for him that he was really involved in everything. But then something is not 100% right with all other positions, because with the quality we have there, we have to mix it more up, obviously. So it's fine. It's nothing happened. We have a point more than before the game. It's not our dream result, but we are all old enough to accept things like that.
We always go into these games and come out of them. There's always big moments, talking points. I have to mention you picked up a yellow card. Your bench felt that you might have had a shout for a handball and a penalty. What was your...
That's now really, we should not make another, but it's Anthony Taylor who gave me the yellow card, not the ref. I don't know exactly what. I spoke to the linesman, and Anthony didn't like that. And I was really surprised when I got a yellow card. I deserve a lot of cards that I got in my life, but this one I didn't understand. You have to ask Anthony why that. But a handball, no, it was not a handball before the goal. I saw that back. But the situation before, the wrestling in the box. If that's allowed, then it's allowed. We cannot change that. The refs have their own view. How we know nowadays, so that's it.
Brutal honesty from Jurgen Klopp there. And this is the wrestling incident he's talking about. It was Virgil van Dijk and Mengi. Did you think it was a penalty?
I thought Jurgen Klopp was spot on there. I didn't think it was a handball before, but this is the one that you would go back to and say, right, this is something that I'd like to have a look at again. And yeah, do you know what? I think that is a foul. I think that is a foul. And, I think the defender there, who's it, Mengi, you said?
Yeah.
I don't think he's got any intention of going for the ball. He grabs Virgil van Dijk, wrestles him to the ground, and I think I think we were quite hot on these decisions or these scenarios last season. I think we've almost let loose or lessened our grip, let's say, this season. I think he's got no intention whatsoever of going for the ball there. He's not even looking at the ball. He just rugby tackles Van Dijk.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's a foul. Part of me is quite glad that it wasn't given, because then it's almost like how it used to be, where you'd see these from every corner, every free kick, some people grappling, people going down. But I think with the way the referees are nowadays, looking at that now, there's no attempt to play the ball. He's not even got eyes on the ball. Yeah, for me, it's probably a foul.
So then a penalty.
Penalty, yeah.
Okay. What about the other part of that interview from Jurgen Klopp, when he was talking about the fact that they didn't deserve? He said the point was fair today.
Yeah, I thought he was brutally honest, and I think he's right. I think you look at the opportunities that Liverpool probably had. I know the Nunez one over the bar, the Salah header, but then I thought Luton deserved not to get beat today. They worked incredibly hard. They had to wait for their opportunity, and when they got their opportunity, they took it. And I wouldn't say Liverpool were at their flowing best. Like they didn't create 2, 3, 4 good clear-cut chances. Didn't take them. Luton was stodgy in their defending, made it really difficult. And when you look at the balance of play, chances created, and both teams, for me, Luton will probably deserve to leave here with something.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Liverpool did have chances. They could easily have pointed to a lot of them and said, we could have won because of these. And Jurgen Klopp mentioned that. However, if you don't take them, then you don't really deserve it.
Yeah.
I do agree. I think Luton deserves something out of the game. That felt to Gakpo a little bit awkward. You thought he might be able to just bring it down there with his right foot and then shoot.
Yeah, maybe just control it with his instep of his right foot and then just swivel on it, because he's 4 yards out. You never know. If he gets something on it, then he scores.
Yeah, this is Nunez. Mo Salah just feeding him in. Lovely little ball, lovely weighted ball. Again, that gets an ooh from the crowd, and everyone said, he smashed it on target, it's a great save. But I think that's quite safe, personally, just smack it down the middle. I think, he scored a couple of goals against Newcastle away and whacked it into the far corner low. I think that would have been the cause of the day there. Gravenberch, again, gets an ooh from the crowd, but you'd be disappointed if the goalkeeper doesn't save it. And then Kanate here, Darren.
Yeah, another one again, header. Again, I think the keeper's got it covered. But if you look at the chance they've got, Kanate gets across Ross Barkley there. None of them are really clear-cut. Other than the Salah header that he and now Darwin Núñez get wrong, there's no real clear-cut chances there. Again, if you're Luton and you look at the opportunities that you've given up, yes, you're quite happy with them, because none of them are quite clear-cut. None of them we're saying here, that hand on heart, they should score. Some of them are pop shots. You see Núñez hit one down the middle. So, again, if you're Luton, you restrict Liverpool to that with the attacking talent they've got, I think you'd be happy.
Yeah, so an ooh from the crowd, not an ooh from Michael or from Darren here at the studio today. It is such an impressive Liverpool attack. We've talked about it in the weeks leading up to this, and yet today they could not unlock Luton. They needed off the bench, off maybe a shoulder, as you guys had said. What do you think was the difference today between what we've seen in other games when they've scored with ease?
Well, Liverpool do score goals. They are doing well points-wise this year. I still watch them and think they've got a fair way to go, and that's not criticism, because it's a new team, it's a totally new midfield, it's attacking players that are still learning how to play with each other. So I've got no problem with the way that they're doing, and results are coming in this transitional period. So I think it's fine. But I don't watch them at the moment and jump off my seat thinking, wow, this is amazing football. 2-3 years ago under Jurgen Klopp, I did. After 15, 20 minutes of virtually every game, the game was over. They would just smash teams to pieces, and it would just be unbelievable to watch. Now they're picking up results, but they're not at their absolute best, and I think they're working towards that. So goals are going in this season. I don't think goals are a problem. Yes, today they only scored one, not a disaster. Could have been better. And I think that's just, they're evolving at the moment. I don't think we should be sort of reading anything into it. They created a few chances, probably should have scored 1 or 2 more. But Jurgen Klopp's quite philosophical about it, and I agree with him.
It's also the nature of the Premier League.
Yeah. And listen, just because you create a chance doesn't mean, that's a goal. most strikers need 2 or 3 chances. On average, you're scoring every 2 or 3 decent chances.
You didn't.
But that's the way of the world. You need to be creating lots and lots of chances to score a few goals. That's what it is. So there's no big panic, although it's a big disappointment for Liverpool, especially with Manchester City winning and then Arsenal obviously losing. You think you can gain ground. But it's still early doors. They're still progressing.
One battle that fascinated you today, that you thought was very, very interesting to watch, was Ogbene versus Trent. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I thought he'd done really well against Trent. I thought Trent found it difficult all afternoon, if I'm honest. I mean, here, this one's a bit more difficult because look at all that space that he's given up there, give and go. It's incredibly difficult. When someone's got quick and a pace and he almost needs Konate, as I said here, to kind of help him out on that side, because when you leave space behind Trent, I do feel he struggles with one-to-one defending. Again, here, you can see he's already the wrong side. Maybe that's from playing that inverted midfield role. He can't quite get back the right side, and when he does, he's faced up by Ogbene, and then he goes past him like he's not even there. No hand on him, and this creates an unbelievable opportunity, which we spoke about in the first half. But I felt like that was Luton's way out all the time. Again, spacing behind Trent. Once you get the other side of Trent, he can't get back, he can't recover, unfortunately. We know how talented and a wonderful footballer he is, but defensively, there's always gaps, Michael.
Yeah, and that's the thing that they do, isn't it, Liverpool, I suppose? Because it does put the team off balance. It does mean Konate's got to play right back half of the time. It does mean Szoboszlai or one of the midfielders have got to run out and cover a lot of the time. But that's the price they pay for getting him in certain areas in the midfield and causing trouble. If Liverpool lose it while he's out of position, it's a big, big problem. Yeah. And that's the point of things. They need to keep the ball when he's in central areas. Otherwise, teams are going to just hit that space. So it's something that's evolving at the moment. They're still trying to perfect it. It's something that Manchester City, Arsenal have done for many years now. And it works, but, if they give the ball away, then it can become their Achilles heel at the back.
Chidozie, this was nearly a really explosive bonfire night for Luton. Tahith, did you think that you'd claimed a famous victory when you scored that late goal?
Yeah, I think obviously when you score that late, you're already thinking of obviously winning and winning the game. But I think obviously they have quality and they're going to keep coming. So, unfortunately, we can see that last minute, but I think I'm very proud of the team and very proud of the squad and what game we played.
Chidozie, what was going through your mind when that late equaliser went in? Is the glass half full or half empty tonight?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. I was kind of praying for a VAR check, but obviously it was a clean goal. But as Chongi said, you can't fault the effort tonight. I think we're going in here slightly disappointed we didn't get 3 points against a very good Liverpool team. But, as I said, that's how far we come. And I said to you earlier on, it's all about moments. And obviously Chongi took his moment very well. And we are happy with the points. Obviously, it's, if you can't win, you don't lose. And that's what happened today.
Nobody outside Kenilworth Road probably gave you much of a prayer of getting anything from this game. How much belief was there at the start today, and what was the feeling and the messages in that dressing room?
As I said to you earlier, it was all about momentum, and we're just trying to create an atmosphere here that we play dynamic football and we want to get the crowd on our side. Not many teams know the kind of atmosphere we have here, but the manager said clearly before the game just to believe in the game plan and just be patient. And I said to you, in this league, and it's not just against Liverpool, whoever you come up against, you just need to take your moments, and Chongi took his moment very well and put the momentum in our favour.
Tahith, is this result today also a sign that Luton are really beginning to grow into this league?
Yeah, I think if you watch a couple of weeks, we've grown every single game. We've grown into the league, and obviously we're still learning and we still want to improve. So I think we take this one as a plus, and we have to keep improving and keep getting better and better. And maybe next time we get 3 points.
And other teams, the big so-called teams looking at this tonight, nobody will really, I think, fancy coming to Kenilworth Road or that performance, will they?
Yeah, I think what Gio said, we want to create an atmosphere here which is difficult for the big teams, or not only the big teams. I think every single team that comes here, we just want to make it a difficult atmosphere for them to come and play and try to play our football. And like I said, just keep improving game by game.
Well done to both of you. Almost a famous victory. I think it's half full rather than half empty. Go and discuss it back in the dressing room. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
What did Luton do well today?
Well, intensity. I thought they were really intense with their pressing, with their, making sure Liverpool didn't settle on the ball. They restricted Liverpool, I think. Liverpool did have chances, but you'd expect them to. And what I was really, impressed with was that it wasn't just let's sit back and let's take everything that Liverpool has to offer. It was when we get the ball, we're going to try our best to contribute and to make chances ourselves. Now, again, they didn't create loads and loads, but enough to obviously score a goal. And I thought that was good because it's a long old game, 90 minutes. If you're going to go into a game and think, right, let's just try not to concede and hardly offer anything going forward. So it's very important for these teams to come up and try to score goals. And I thought they did today.
Tahith Chong scored in the 80th minute, and he scored after what we thought was a check for a penalty. In fact, there was a check for a penalty at the other end. They played to the whistle, though, and he scored not a winner, but a famous goal.
He did, yeah, and it's really well played from Luton as well. And Ross Barkley in this situation is fantastic. We'll probably talk about him in a bit, but really good composure, chooses the right place at the right time. They keep themselves onside. And Tahith Chong, really, really good position. Great ball across as well, by the way. And he gets there, and it's really, this would have been harsh. He's not even looking, Ross Barkley. Hits him on the back. He's facing the wrong way. Hits him on his elbow. For me, absolutely not a penalty whatsoever, Michael.
No. The arm is in a very natural position. Yes, it clips the arm, but it's not a penalty at all. Liverpool will be disappointed. Elliott, he commits himself. McAllister's in a good position here with Chong, and I don't know why he almost turns and starts looking at the ball and lets Chong get a couple of yards on him. If I were him, I would just get my head down and sprint alongside him to get back. So a couple of little mistakes. Liverpool being done on the counter, something that they normally, inflict on other teams.
Yeah. They honestly, the pace that Luton went with as well, and it was the quality of the pass as well. The first one from Ross Barkley, composure, the pass out wide, and then the cross into the box. He's kept himself onside. It's a really, really good ball between the defenders and the goalkeeper. Chong gets there first and puts it in. It's a really, really good finish.
He almost can't believe it. That's Robin.
Well, no, it's probably from a coach's perspective. He's probably worked all week on training about restricting Liverpool to certain chances. But when his team get the ball, can they counter-attack? Can they cause Liverpool problems? And that's one of those coaches' dream where everything in your mind that you've been working on all week comes together and you get your rewards from it.
So clearly one for the substitutes because Chong was off the bench onto the score sheet. And then the same at the other end to make it 1-1. Two subs combining, in fact. Let's look at Elliott's role and then at Diaz getting the equaliser as well.
Yeah, I don't think it was the cleanest of headers. In fact, I think it probably came off Diaz's shoulder. But yeah, it was Harvey Elliott that was popped up on this right-hand side, little pocket here, and knocked the ball in eventually. Diaz, as he does, he often sort of goes into that far post area from that left side, but he just cuts in there, Harvey Elliott, onto his left foot, an in-swinging cross. And I like the way he jumps early. He gives the defender no chance to jump because he's already jumped and he's over him. And it might have come off the shoulder, but it was all about getting up there first.
Yeah, I think so. It does come off the shoulder, but you're right. I think because he gets up so early, he doesn't allow the defender to get up at all. Because look, he's already up there, so the defender, he can't get off the ground, he can't elevate. And as I said, it comes off his shoulder, but a really nice moment for Luis Diaz. And as I said, he wanted to be involved today, and he's got his side at point today. Nice celebration as well.
Yeah, they needed something to unlock this Luton defence. Luton were resolute. Liverpool kept knocking on the door, but couldn't find a way through.
No, they couldn't. And they did have chances, Jules. They did create a few chances. Nunez was probably guilty of missing the most of them. A couple of good chances as well. Salah had one or two half chances. We saw Jota's in the first half. That was a good chance. So on balance, I think Jurgen Klopp will probably bemoan, the chances they've missed. But when you're 1-0 down and it's injury time, then you grab a point and take it, even though they'll be disappointed on the whole.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the psychology of it as well, because Luton were leading and then they get a point, which if you told them before this match they'd have been delighted with that. But having led in the 80th minute, are they still delighted? For Liverpool, they were losing and now get a point before the game. Wouldn't have thought a point would be good enough.
Yeah, I think from Luton's perspective, they probably, if you'd have offered it to them before the game, of course, they would have said, absolutely, Liverpool's coming to town. But when you're so close and you play so well and everything comes together, you get the goal, and then to concede that goal as well. Because I even think with Liverpool's goal, there was chances for them to clear it and they choose the wrong option. It's a bit scrappy, but this is what top sides do. So I think if you're Luton, you're thinking, we could have been all three, but in the end, as I said, I think the point was probably the fair result. And if you're Luton, you go, that will give us a little bit of confidence going into the next game.
Sometimes in a game like this, when you're in Liverpool's position, when you're knocking on the door, it just doesn't fall for you. And there was a moment, a very big one, you mentioned it. It was the Salah, Nunez moment where you thought, maybe they're just not going to score today.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mo Salah was close to being offside, so it'd be interesting if the ball did go in, whether this would have been given or not. But let's take it as read that it was onside. I mean, Mo Salah misses a huge chance there. Don't for 1 minute think he's trying to head it across. He looks like he's onside there, and I'm pretty sure he'll be attempting to head that. I mean, the second one is just... I mean, that's a huge miss from Mo Salah. If that didn't go to Darwin Núñez, just like flitted off wide, then you'd be saying, wow, that's the miss of the game. But then to have two in the space of half a second, I mean, we spoke about it early in the programme. A lot of the time, your only danger as a centre forward when the ball's coming across like that is hitting the ball over the bar. There's no other thing. There's no one near you. The only thing you've got to think of is keep it down, smother it. You don't need to hit it cleanly. You can scuff it, just smother it and keep it down. And it's a finish that he needs to probably, learn. There are some gaps in his game, but I think that was a massive chance for him.
Okay, we're going to hear Darren's thoughts in just a little bit, but we're going live now back to Kenilworth Road because we have with us, coming into studio, and it's great to have you with us on Match Day Live. We were asking in studio, before the game, Luton would definitely have taken a point. What did it feel like in the moment? What's your verdict?
Obviously, we're a little disappointed. I think the boys were incredible. Everyone followed the game plan to a T. We got the goal. We defended brilliant. To see 8 minutes go up was a big surprise. And then to concede after 5 of those minutes was tough. The boys are disappointed in the dressing room, but as well, you have to take heart. You have to take the positives. It's a good point. It takes us above that relegation line, if I'm not mistaken. So, yes, we have to take the positives, but I'll be lying if I said we're not disappointed about conceding late on.
Out of the relegation zone on goal difference, in fact. Just from a personal perspective, this was your first start in all competitions since March 2022.
Wow. Yeah.
What did it feel like to be in the starting lineup today?
Oh, it was some game to come into, one of the best sides in Europe. No, honestly, I absolutely loved it. It's been a long road. I've been in a dark place. It's been a couple of years, or almost a couple of years since I've started in the Premier League. So first and foremost, it was just good to be out there, good to be on the grass, to be mixing it with the best in Europe. It was amazing. But listen, I had a job out there to do today, and the job was to get in their faces, to be as aggressive as I can, to listen to the game plan, to be that experienced head. And when I blow up, which the manager felt was 60 minutes, to get fresh legs on, to get a bit of legs on the pitch. And Chongi came on, again, followed the game plan and managed to get himself a goal. So it was a team effort. It's not about me tonight, it was a team effort, and the team ended up getting the point for us tonight.
Andres, as you said there, you was on the bench when they scored, but talk to me about the atmosphere when that ball went in.
Absolutely incredible, honestly. I've played at some big clubs, some big stadiums, but this place is right up there. It's similar to Selhurst Park, where they're right on top of you, and this is some counter-attack. This is what we worked on during the week. It was about soaking up the pressure and using our pace on the counter-attack, and Issa, who defended brilliantly, Chong, who came on, it was well-deserved, and honestly, the place erupted, and it was amazing to be a part of it. Just a shame we couldn't hold out, but even then, after the final whistle, the fans showed their appreciation, and that's all you can do. As long as you're making the fans happy as a player, that you can do no more. And thankfully they stayed with us, and we're going to need them if we're going to survive in the Premier League this season. We're going to need the fans if we're losing, if we're drawing, if we're winning. And they stayed with us throughout the whole of the 90, I think it was 100 minutes in the end. They stayed with us throughout until the end.
Andros, it's Michael Owen. We're missing you in the studio, mate, but it's great to see you playing again. Just wanted to understand a little bit about the team, the general atmosphere of the team. You've been around, you've played for a few different teams in your career. What's that inner sanctum like? Is it a great atmosphere?
Yeah, it's amazing. Listen, we know we've not got the budget of the other sides, even the other sides down in and around us. But what we have got is team spirit. We've got togetherness, and you saw that today in abundance. We've got players who will listen to the game plan. The manager knows he can put out 11, whether it be to completely sit off as we did last week, Aston Villa, or whether it to be to try and get in and amongst them like we tried to do today. He's got players who will listen. We've got players to come off the bench who will make an impact, like Chong did today, like Eli did a few weeks ago against Nottingham Forest. So we know if we're going to survive, it's going to be a squad game. And yeah, honestly, for me to be a part of that today, it was from the start. Last week it was from the bench, whether that be Monday to Friday. I'm just trying to put as much of my experience of the last 10 years in the Premier League and try and help these guys, because listen, until you play Liverpool, you kind of, when you watch them on TV, you think, oh, it's Liverpool, these guys are amazing, we can't live with them. But it's 11 players at the end of the day. And yes, they do have quality. Yes, they are worth 50, 60 million. But at the end of the day, if you work hard, if you sprint, if you get into shape, it's hard for any team to break us down. And we showed that tonight. And yes, we got the point. But I hope the biggest thing we take from tonight is the fact that we can mix it with the big boys and we are good enough to be here.
And you're going to have to be showing more of that in the next couple of weeks. We mentioned it in studio, just had a look at your upcoming run, because there's City in there as well. There's Arsenal in there. It's not going to get any easier.
No, it doesn't get easier. And I go back to my last point. Oh, wow. I didn't know. Oh, man. Yeah, but listen, I hope tonight's result and the performance against Spurs a few weeks ago give these boys the belief that whether it be United at Old Trafford or City here at Kenilworth Road, it's going to be...